right, class, I wanted to make a special bonus video for you where we could talk about the unit circle and specifically how I fill out the unit circle and how I remember all the points around the unit circle, because it's a lot. So I'm going to give you my tips and tricks to solving the unit circle. So friendly reminder that the unit circle is a circle whose radius is 1 and its center is the origin of the XY coordinate plane. And we use the unit circle to understand and find the trigonometric angle measures by finding the x and y values of points on the circle for special angles like 45 degrees, 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and so on. So let's practice filling out our unit circle. So first thing I know is that here is my, this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis, and points on the axes are going to have specific values. So here I have the point because my radius is 1. This is the point when x is 1, but my y value is 0. This point, right, it's on the y-axis. My y value is 1, but my x value is 0. Here I have the point when x is -1, y is 0 again because my radius is 1. And here I have the point when x is 0, y is -1. Now we need to start filling out our unit circle. So this is going to be 0 degrees, which is 0 or 2 pi radians, right? They're equivalent. This is going to be 90 degrees or pi over 2 because 180 degrees equals pi, right? 360 degrees is 2 pi. So now I have pi, that's 180 degrees. And then I have 270 degrees, which is 3 pi over 2, right? So remember to get from radians to degrees, you would have 1 degree is pi over 180, and 1 radian is 180 divided by pi. That's our conversion. So the other special values on our triangle are going to be 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. Then just doing the math and the counting, we've got 90 degrees. 90 degrees plus 30 is 120 degrees. 45 degrees, again, 45 degrees would be 135 degrees. It's all just adding. 60 degrees plus 60 degrees is 120. 60 degrees plus 60 degrees is plus 30 degrees, sorry, that's 150 degrees. I add 30 degrees to get to 180, 30 degrees to get to 210, another 30 degrees to get to 240, 30 degrees to get to 270, 30 degrees to get to 300 degrees, and another 30 degrees to get to 330 degrees, and then we're back to 360 degrees, which is 2 pi radians. Okay. Now we can count by 45. So I just start counting by the denomination. If I've got 45 degrees, that 45 to 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees to plus 45 is 135 degrees. 135 degrees plus 45 is 180 degrees. Then I get to 225 degrees, 270, and 315. So now I filled out the degrees, but we need to fill out the radians. So 30 degrees is pi over 6. 45 degrees is pi over 4, and we found that by conversion. And 60 degrees is pi over 3. Now I'm just going to continue my adding method. So if I have pi over 6, that's 30 degrees. 60 degrees would be 2 pi over 6, which is pi over 3. 90 degrees would be 3 pi over 6. 3 pi over 6, which is pi over 2. Then I've got 4 pi over 6, which simplifies to 2 pi over 3. Then I have 5 pi over 6, which doesn't simplify. Then I have 6 pi over 6, which is pi. Again, I'm just counting every 30 degrees. Then I have 7 pi over 6, which doesn't simplify. Then I have 8 pi over 6, which simplifies to 4 pi over 3. Then I have 9 pi over 6, which simplifies to 3 over 2. Then I have 10 pi over 6, which simplifies to 5 pi over 3. Then I have 11 pi over 6. Next, I just have to do the 45 degrees. And then we're going to focus on the points, which I'm sure is what everyone's most interested in, is the points on the unit circle. So 0 degrees, 45 degrees, so I've got pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, which is pi, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, which is 3 pi over 2, 7 pi over 4. So I really, when I am working with the unit circle, I just focus on quadrant 1 over here. Remember, quadrant 1 is where x and y are both positive. Quadrant 2 is where x is negative but y is positive. Quadrant 3 is where both x and y are negative. And quadrant 4, I don't know why I did it in there. Quadrant 4 is where x is positive but y is negative. The 3 important points we need to remember come from the special triangles. 30 degrees has the point when x is square root of 3 over 2, y is 1/2. 45 degrees has the point square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. And then 60 degrees, pi over 3, has 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. Notice it's just this one flipped because the 30, 60, 90 triangle is just one triangle. And I can use these points and the fact that I know the values of x and y are positive or negative in each of the quadrants to fill out this unit circle. So over here, I have that x is negative and y is positive. Well, if you look, you see if I was to reflect the point square root of 3 over 2, 1/2 across my x-axis, my y-axis right here, then I would have the same point except my x value would be negative now. So now I have negative square root of 3 over 2, positive 1/2. My y value didn't change. I do the same with pi over 4, which is square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. If I reflect that across my y-axis, I get negative square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. I do the same thing for pi over 3. I reflect across my y-axis, so my x value changes to negative, and my y value stays positive. So if you just memorize these 3 points and these 3 values of radians, you can calculate the entire unit circle. Okay, let's fill out the rest of our circle, knowing now that if I flip over the x-axis, both my y and x become negative. So here I'm flipping, right? I'm reflecting across the y-axis, x-axis. So I have negative square root of 3 over 2, negative 1/2. Reflecting across our x-axis, I have negative square root of 2 over 2, negative square root of 2 over 2. Reflecting across our x-axis, I have negative 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. And then I reflect across our y-axis again, right, knowing that then my x becomes positive. So now I have 1/2 negative square root of 3 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, negative square root of 2 over 2. Again, we reflect it across the y-axis. Then I'm reflecting again. My y stays negative, but my x value becomes positive. So here we have the entire filled in unit circle. Again, if you just focus on memorizing the point and radian values for quadrant 1, I think that's the best approach to completing the unit circle without having to memorize the entire thing.